All right, State Farm. My name is Michael Ash. I'm with Panda Exteriors, and I am here on behalf of one of our insured, Mr. Troy Foraker, at the Foraker residence. Today's date is June 4th of 2024, and we have been advised to repair over 25 shingles in the scope of Mr. Foraker's damages, which at this point are a little bit more extensive and strung across the roof to where, at this point, us as the contractor on file need to demonstrate the repairability of the roof to see if the direction and the prescription of repairing these specific 25 shingles is actually feasible and doable, and gives us the opportunity to serve Mr. Foraker to the best of our ability and bring him back to pre-storm conditions, which at this point, I can honestly feel like that stage, and as you can see, there's shingles literally laying up on a ridge, and I just kind of want to show for pliability. I feel like at this stage, a repair, since this is already a broken piece, a repair would simply snap because the condition of the shingles that would be surrounding, meaning that to repair this specific section most likely would snap the surrounding shingles above and to the side, which then we'd have to tear off the ridge in order to address that properly. And then right on the other side of that, we have areas that are damaged by the wind completely. I mean, look at that, to where this ridge would have to be torn up in multiple sections just to address the amount of damage caused by the wind on Mr. Foraker's roof. And so all the blue lines I have outlined are damaged shingles specifically that were labeled for repair. I believe the number is 25, though I do believe there's a little bit more than that, but we'll go with that specifically for now. And I've kind of mapped out areas where those shingles that we have to address and repair, what that would look like in the actual level of construction in order to do it properly. Almost, a prime example of this specific wind damage shingle down here with the blue line. In order to address that property, we have to, tear up the two sections above, 2 rows above, and find the seam, just like I'm going to demonstrate over here, which then means, we're starting to get into the flashing of the pipe jacks, and then, having to address that properly would then multiply up the roof in several different areas here as well. And then in demonstrating and doing everything with the proper tools and methods that State Farm has required would be our hammer and our roof snake. And I have, a bunch of new nails just in case the old ones are not feasible to use in this level of demolition and construction. And what we would like to show is that, hey, most of the time we have such a great relationship with the homeowners we help and State Farm on file. And I do believe that there are times where we as contractors are scrutinized to like almost the level of the unfeasibility, where in actually performing the level of construction as required, obviously runs into multiple issues as we go. We're not machines, we're professional, we know what we're doing. But at the end of the day, the level of construction and demolition to repair a section of the roof gets scrutinized to the highest ability. And sometimes it's just like, it's so hard just to be a contractor and do the work, where, at the end of the day, all we're trying to do is serve the homeowner properly. And as the dedicated contractor on file with assignment of claim, my next step here is to demonstrate the repairability of the roof. And, hey, if we're supposed to repair this specific shingle and all the ones with the blue lines, could that potentially create more damage that, now we have to multiply either the count or the number, or, there's so much of an effect that it just requires a full slope? It makes sense. Or, it's repairable and we're able to walk away, happily with a repair demolition on this homeowner's roof, which I really just don't think is the right thing to do. But at the end of the day, we will let you guys make the call. I wanted to get a good camera angle for you guys, and then also because of safety and like sometimes our lack of ability in using things that actually work. Right now, hopefully, the other day I did an attempt to repair. I was halfway through it, and as I'm, you know, nailing down the new shingle, my whole camera setup fell down the roof. But let's hope that doesn't happen. This is the area that we are going to repair. I've created a section to mark off a little bit of a control area, and I've got one next to me that has no damage in it that we're going to use to compare. And I'm going to get started. I'm going to break the seal on the surrounding shingles of that damaged shingle, and then I'm going to go 4 across once I find the seam, and 3 above, just to figure out, hey, are we able to pull these nails out? Where are they? Let's hope it was, you know, done with 4 nails in one shingle instead of sometimes we find 7 or 10 nails in one specific shingle. That becomes such a hassle to do up to StateFarm standards, when at the end of the day it's not our fault, we're just trying to do our job. But I am showing this for the perfect angle to demonstrate the lift that I will do for each shingle. This is our damaged shingle. It's completely cracked and creased all the way across the top, and I picked an area that didn't have any surrounding damage so that we can keep this control area clean and know that, hey, if we're repairing this specific shingle, anything that we have to do in order to get these nails out, slide this shingle out and place a new one in there, is kept in a clean environment. So what I'm going to do, being that this is our specific shingle, look at that level of cheese whiz. This is our specific shingle that we're going to be replacing, and I'm going to go 1 shingle to the left and 1 shingle to the right, and then these 2 shingles right above it, so that I don't over break seal on areas just looking for the seam, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is use the roof snake to gently break the seal and lift up, and I can see a nail and a seam here, and I'm going to do the same over here. And it started to crack on the back side. I don't want to lift it too high to show, but I can see a level of mat transfer where the shingle has cracked on that back side just from breaking that seal. Go 1 up, and shingle is tearing at the bottom just from doing so, and I have found this seam, which is showing me that instead of going to the left, I need to go to the right, because this specific shingle is 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to mark them off as a control area. So we got 1, 2, 3, which means we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, hopefully 1, 2, 3, and those should be the areas that we are working with, just to pull the nails out properly and then replace with a new shingle. So through that, I'm going to go to the next one. Shingle is broken and cracked just from breaking seal at the bottom. I'll show all that once we get a little bit further in. And I can see a little bit of mat transfer that is most likely affected the back of the shingle, but I don't want to lift it too high to look and demonstrate. But we are going to go this last one to the left. See there, and then one more. Right, and there's our seam. So now we've got our seam. So, and this shingle has completely cracked up at the top just from doing that. And there's a level of mat transfer as well that's most likely affected the back of the shingle, which in that scenario, it wouldn't be able to lift again. And at the bottoms of these shingles, just where I'm breaking seal gently with the roof snake as required, you can see them start to snap and break. So I'm going to go this way, and the shingle has broken and snapped right here just by breaking seal. And same with this one. A little bit on the corner. Not as much as the rest, but you can see. So, first thing I'm going to do is, actually I'm going to show you. So this is the shingle that we are repairing. That snap. And just by breaking the seal, the pliability of these shingles is very, very low. It's already snapping and breaking. And same with these ones. Look at this. Look at this cracking right here, just by breaking the seal. And then we have areas where the base of the shingle, just trying to break the seal, is snapping. And I don't want to lift this too high because I don't want to be scrutinized, but there's a level of mat that just by breaking that is most likely torn off the back of the shingle, which is no bueno, right? Like, we don't want that. That doesn't suit us well as contractors to leave that kind of, you know, surrounding damage and just doing this scenario. We haven't even pulled the shingle out, grabbed the nails, or started to nail new nails in. So with that, I wanted to show that little intermediary, and I'm going to put the camera back, and once we get a little bit further, I will demonstrate every step of the way here for you. So, using the proper tools and method, I'm going to take this roof snake and I'm going to try and pull out the nails that are above the first row and above the second row in order to pull this shingle out. So, I see the first one, and I'm going to use this roof snake, and the whole shingle just cracked and the nail is out, but the whole shingle just cracked in me doing that. And I'll show you what that looks like right above. And so here's another one. Use the roof snake to lift it up, and that whole shingle just cracked trying to get this nail out. Completely cracked. So what that looks like, let me see if I can find the other nail. And cracked. There's 4 nails. And that has cracked as well. Using the roof snake to be able to grab these nails is not always the easiest to do. We're going to sit those nails aside, and then we are going to look for the other nails that are involved in this shingle. And that just cracked completely. Absolutely cracked. Trying to get that. Shingle just cracked all the way across, trying to pull out this nail. See if I can find another one. Cracked. There's no way to pull out this nail on this without completely damaging. Let's see. This last one. Hopefully the last. There we go. There's one. Okay, that's the only portion that did not crack so far. But it's still, you can see how it's affected the shingles just above it with a layer of cracking right through the center. And then of course, underneath of them is destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. And where is my last nail? Let's see. One more nail somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. Where are we? There we are. There we are. So, just to demonstrate, oh my gosh. Look, and that wasn't even the one that we were supposed to fix. Just to demonstrate, I want to show you what happens to the shingle itself as we're trying to pull out the nail, gently with the proper tools and methods. And this is just the first area, right? We haven't even done the rest of the construction yet. Look at this level of cracking from the shingle that we've had to pull out. Now I'm going to place this one to the side, and I'm going to show the level of damages here. This is our control group. You can see, look, completely torn. This level of breaking through, hold on, where are we? This shingle itself, I'm trying not to get too high in there, but this shingle itself is completely busted and cracked where the nail is. There's no fixing that. That will not seal again. The level of mat transfer just from breaking the seal is pretty significant. Look at that, right? That is ripped and that is torn through the backside. Then here's the area where we pulled our shingle out. These shingles right here are completely damaged right here. I mean, this is just getting to the point where repairing it, I know, is only going to continue to create more damage, which means should I actually continue, look at this, look at that level of cracking just from breaking the seal here and lifting up to get the nail. Same with this area right here. You can see that level of pliability. I'm trying to do my best not to lift it up, but that is going to snap with the next wind or with the actual repair around it, which means, and then this is cracked completely up underneath trying to get the nail out, and this was through the bottom layer as told and requested by StateFarm and how we do it. Same with this one, completely cracked. And where are we showing? Okay, so with that, I'm going to put the camera back and demonstrate replacing this new shingle and re-nailing it back in. And with that, I'll put the camera here and then I'll demonstrate what that looks like thereafter, and we will wrap all things up and submit. Got our new shingle, and I'm gonna slide it up, try and get it into place to secure it. We're stuck with something, and this is the reality of what we do here, because construction is never truly flawless, right? But we do the best that we can, and we stand behind every single homeowner that we help. And as stated, I'm going to secure this in place by replacing the 4 nails in the first row and the 4 nails on the top row, and then we will demonstrate what that has caused the surrounding area and how to potentially fix it in the right way. So using the roof snake, I'm gonna grab a couple nails, and don't make fun of me, I am gonna put them in my mouth because it's just the easiest way to do things. So, our first one, we're secure in place, and I'm only gonna lift the shingle to the desired height of the roof snake to get the nail in properly. So we are right where we need to be. And my shingle has completely cracked at the base just by doing that. And actually the level of resistance, or excuse me, the level of impact from nailing it properly with the right tools and methods has actually affected the shingle to the side of it that had no damage whatsoever and now cracked that area. So in doing this again, I'm going to try and stay entirely on the shingle that we're doing, even though I was exactly where I needed to be to place that nail, and now we've damaged the shingle next to it just by doing this repair with the proper tools and methods. So we get to the next one, and I'm going to put it exactly where it needs to be. just by lifting, we're starting to crack more where it was already cracked from breaking the seal up here, and I'll show that as soon as I get done. That has completely cracked this shingle right here from the roof snake and the level of impact and putting the nail in it. I'll show that as soon as I get done as well. And in experience, never lifting the shingle higher than the level of the roof snake as requested. That has also started to spider crack this shingle right here. I'll show that when I get done as well. This is a shame. I'm gonna grab 4 more nails. I'm gonna get the last 4 in the top row, and then we'll take a look at all the areas of concern and what that actually means or represents for Mr. Foraker and how to serve him in the right way. Okay, that has broken and chipped, and the center is starting to crack and crease just from where the roof snake and the nail has penetrated, literally in the underside of it. So now we're going to go to nail 2. Secure this one in place. Same thing here, but not as much. And we'll put our last one in and then take a look. Stubborn nail. It's a little sideways. All right, we got that last nail in, but then in doing so, I'm going to show you, make sure this is secure. So our shingle that we replaced is secure, and we have gotten all 4 nails in the top and the bottom row using the proper tools and methods. The roof snake is required, and I'm going to show, let me get my chalk marks, going to show the areas completely that I feel we have created that are, weren't there before the repair, and definitely would need to be addressed in terms that, hey, this repair has now created areas for us to now repair, which would then create areas for us to continue repairing across the roof here. Here's a prime example. Look at that. Oh man, just my chalk in trying to mark that. Wow. This is what we're dealing with. Just trying to mark that with chalk. Literally rip that. Here are plenty areas of concern, right? We've got this. We've got all the base of that shingle. This. We've got areas that are starting to crack in the center which I don't want to lift up too much, but this has snapped just getting that nail in. Wish I could show that just a little better, but if you saw from my view, or you wanted to send anybody else out, that roof snake, just the level of impact from up underneath of it has, where's my finger, has cracked this specific area of the shingle, like completely. And I don't want to lift it up too high to demonstrate, but you know, that shingle is already compromised from having to pull the nails out. Look at this. This is above, right? I'm gonna be careful with my chalk marks there. Look at this area, you know, just from the roof snake itself. This is like the only one that's really not as bad, although the same section kind of right here, I can leave that out of the file, but this one has been completely destroyed next to it. And this is the second row above, right? Look at that. Completely destroyed there. That would have to be repaired just from the repair. Same with this one right above. Look at this level of impact right here. Just from lifting, pulling the nail out and re-nailing. Not cool, not cool. Same with underside. Look, we've got tear on the underside itself. I can't even show that without lifting properly. But this is completely torn, right? Completely torn up there. So we're gonna mark that. And then this area right next to it, here's a level of impact just from the roof snake sliding under, where that shingle has cracked at that specific location to get this nail in. It's right up underneath. And so we have to label that as damaged in the process of repair, which means both the row above, immediately above, has been damaged, and the row right above that has been damaged from the process of our repair, except for one specific shingle that literally, you know, still part of all the other ones that would have to be replaced, but it's like almost there, but not enough to mark, right? A little bit more, that would be completely destroyed. But then of course, we've already created this level in cracking of that shingle that in just trying to mark it has completely snapped and ripped. And so for the area that has been repaired, this specific shingle, showing that the surrounding areas above have now been affected entirely, this 100% represents a fail by every single standard and every insurance company out there and every contractor guide, a fail on this actual repair attempt, meaning that, hey, if there are 25 shingles, and there are a little bit more than that, but hey, we're not going to scrutinize. There are 25 of these areas that must be repaired. What would that look like spreading across the roof if, let's say, hey, we had to repair this shingle, but now we've created damage to the rows above, so we have to repair that, and then we have to repair whatever happens above that. And so likely by all standards right now, this would show that that 25 number actually has to triple, meaning that, you know, hey, if there's 25 shingles that need repaired, both sections above, both rows above, would 100% be affected by that repair, meaning that, hey, now that 25 is 75. And what does 75 shingles repaired look like on a roof that is this small? That is a basic up and over, which then every single area that is marked as a repair would just continue to multiply and multiply and multiply. And just like our control group over here, where we do have a damaged shingle, right, but no surrounding damage to it, this is already showing that, you know, we have mat transfer, yes. We have creasing, yes. We have cracking, yes. We don't have laminate, and we don't have much granular loss here. There is a little, but over here in our control group, we have none of those things. But in order to repair that specific shingle, we're going to continue to spider up, and then having to repair these, spider up, rip off the ridge. Same with over here. You know, this is the front slope. In order to repair these sections with the horizontal lines, the blue ones, we'd have to start tearing up the roof, and then we get into the flashing of this, you know, furnace boiler, which then we'd have to tear off all around that, including the ridge, in order to address properly. And because of the amount of damage that is actually strung out consistently across the roof, there would be no way to repair, quote unquote, 75 shingles spread out without continuously having to repair more of the areas that are now repaired, which means by all standards that there is a fail in the attempt of repairability for this roof. And you know, what would that look like? Like, how is that serving somebody the right way who is consistently paying into their policy premiums for coverage? What would that look like to have all these sections, and most likely more, this is just a guesstimate, all these sections that would be replaced new with all this old shit all over the roof? What would that look like? I mean, is that how we really want to do people? Is that the right way to do this? For a 5-star contractor or any contractor to come in here and just rip up freaking 3/4 of the roof on the back at least, and do, you know, multiple sections next to each other in these patch job repairs, which, you know, hey, then we've probably got code issues that we're going to run into in doing things the right way, right? Or plywood, potential plywood, where we can't nail into it properly. Like, what would that look like? Spread out all across the roof, and then all the sections that were not replaced inside of these strung out repairs that would only create more repairs, what would that look like for the rest of it? That just stays the same, and then, you know, this summer or next year or the year after that, Mr. Foraker has to call in for all the other areas that were not addressed promptly and the right way by a 5-star contractor who's going to stand behind them every step of the way and put a warranty on this roof and upgrade the shingle to an architectural grade that is much more wind resistant, impact resistant, at no added cost to State Farm or the homeowner, and actually, you know, remove tons of liability for you guys to cover this roof and this home, and ensure that, hey, Mr. Foraker's not going to be calling you, you know, next year to address all these other areas that, come on, need to be addressed, right? How can we make this make sense to serve Mr. Foraker in the most, you know, responsible way here and actually do right by somebody, which we would like to do for him. We would like to do right for him. But through this process of repair, it's obvious that there's no way to do it without creating more damage, which means, hey, we are literally taking up almost all of the roof on the back and a massive majority of the roof on the front, leaving just a few small areas, you know, that are not a part of this process. Then wouldn't it just make sense to get it all done the right way, one time, rip all this shit up and have it replaced the right way, so you guys never have to worry about it again, and Mr. Foraker never has to worry about it again? Because that's what me, Mike Ash, and Panda Exteriors would like to do for him. And guys, we are not talking about a big roof here. This is what, 11 squares to replace, plus he's got a deductible he's going to be subtracted by that. Let's do the right thing and just replace this frickin' roof. And then, you know, nobody has to worry about it in the future. It's the right thing to do. Thank you so much. My name is Mike Astor. I'm with Panda Exteriors, 5-star contractor. This is our attempt to repair on June 4th of 2024 at the Foraker residence, and we have showed an absolute fail of results. Thank you.